Alright, if you landed on this video, then I'm gonna assume that you want to take your AI music production skills to the next level. Or, well, maybe you're just tired of seeing the same cliches show up in your lyrics over and over again. And in this video, we're fixing that once and for all, I promise. I'm gonna share a bunch of techniques, a lot of different prompts, and just general concepts that you can use to turn your favorite AI assistant into a literal lyrical genius. So if you're ready to step away from all of that generic crap you usually end up with, then let's dive in. Oh, and there's also a little bonus at the end. Just an FYI there. All right, let's dive in. In my previous video, I showed you how you can create AI cover songs using existing lyrics. The issue is those lyrics are copyrighted, so we need a little bit of a more creative approach to get as much information about a song as we want without touching the lyrics. Because even if we ask ChatGPT, it's not going to provide us with them. It's not able to do that. So we want as much information about a song as we can. And I've used Mr. Brightside by the Killers here as an example, and we're asking ChatGPT to turn into a professional musicologist, songwriter, producer, and literary analyst to analyze as much as possible about this song. It's pretty in-depth. And it starts with basic metadata, so we're even learning with using this prompt, a little bit of background information. But then it goes super in-depth into the musical composition, the rhythm, the song structure. I'm not going to read everything that's here. Try this prompt out for yourself and see what it comes up with. We're going to use all of this information to pretty much build our new song. So we have all of this data and we can just use it to our advantage here. One prompt that I found online when doing my research that is widely recommended goes something like this, where we basically ask ChatGPT to write in the style of a certain artist. And it can output something good, it can output something bad. The point is, this way of doing it is far from ideal, because right now ChatGPT doesn't really have an idea what you mean with in the style of. So we need a far better approach. And I've kind of reworked our prompt that we just used for Mr. Brightside by the Killers and reworked it to fit for an artist. In this case, you can just simply plug in the artist here and you're going to ask it to, once again, get as much information as it possibly can about compositional patterns, lyric styles, emotional and aesthetic analysis, really in-depth. Take your time to read through this. I'm not going to go and dive into all of this information right here, but you get the idea. Right now, ChatGPT already has a way better foundation and knows a little bit more by what you mean when you say in the style of Drake. One thing you will definitely start to notice after using ChatGPT for a while to create your lyrics is that the same line starts reappearing over and over again. It starts to become very repetitive. We start to recognize the same cliches. Think of words like echo, neon lights, shadows. Those words I've seen appear so many times in the lyrics that I've generated. So how can we prevent ChatGPT from doing that? Well, simply to make it self-aware of its weakest habits. And use this as a do not use instruction. And this alone will already make your songs feel way more original and not sound too AI generated. One technique that's often used by songwriters is called the backwards writing technique. And you can use this in your advantage as well. So try to prompt something simple like this. Let's try the backwards writing technique to write a song. Research this first, then let's dive in. So ChatGPT here does its research on exactly what this technique is all about. I'm not going to explain everything here. You can use this prompt for yourself and try it out. And basically it's going to guide you into creating lyrics for a new song yourself. Try coming up with metaphors for whatever topic it is you want to write a song about. And if you can't think of something, just ask ChatGPT for some help there as well. This has often led me to create some very creative songs, sometimes even if they don't make sense, but that they do have some kind of viral factor to it, you can go pretty far with this and you can create some very memeable songs. Instead of using ChatGPT to write you an entire song from scratch, use it as a brainstorm buddy. And one thing that professional songwriters often do, and they do it extremely well, is they turn an idea into something visual. And with the right approach, we can train ChatGPT to do the exact same thing for us. We can use this to our advantage. By doing so, we can turn a very simple idea into something that feels more alive and real, and use this as a source of inspiration to further build upon. And we can go even further to make our prompt a little bit more specific. Because good lyrics, they usually tell some kind of mini story or they go through an emotional journey. Even if the topic is silly, just use whatever comes to mind.
I sit and wait in silence, hoping something will begin.
Sometimes we just assume that ChatGPT is gonna know exactly what it is we want. And I've made this mistake plenty of times, and sometimes the solution is just incredibly simple. Instead of asking it something, ask it how it can become an expert at that task. And the answer it gives you is exactly what you should prompt it. This is a very simple trick that you can use with pretty much anything you're using AI for, and it has helped me so many times to drastically improve the outcome. Try feeding ChatGPT with pieces of text and let it transform them into lyrics. And you can do this with so many different things. You can use it with your favorite poems, maybe paragraphs from your journal to make it really personal, with famous quotes, nursery rhymes, even entire articles if you want, videos. Again, let your creativity loose and try some things out. The results might really surprise you. One prompt that I've tried a couple of times and that I've actually gotten really great results with is trying to merge two songs together. In this case, we're asking it to combine the story of song A with the genre and style of song B to create a fully original song. And in this prompt, once again, we're going to go pretty in depth. We're going to ask ChatGPT to analyze a certain song and extract all of this data right here, and then eventually turn this into one complete new song. And this is, once again, is not going to be ideal, but we can improve upon this. I've tried this mostly with songs that don't contain many lyrics. I like drum and bass heavy music, and more often than not, there's not that much text in them, so it's easier to adapt them. But yeah, I've gotten some great results with doing this, so use this to your advantage.
Please make it stop!
Don't underestimate the power of custom GPTs. When you're in ChatGPT, just simply navigate to the GPTs section right here and type in something like lyrics. A whole lot of options are going to show up here. And you can take this one step further as well and really specify the genre that you're targeting. And once again, you have so many options to choose from. You can click on something, you can see the rating. Again, the thing with this is experiment. Some GPTs are going to be better than others, but on its own, usually these have been designed to be better than just a simple ChatGPT conversation, because they have been trained to write better lyrics. So once again, I've said this a couple of times in this video, but use that to your advantage. Alright, so now you should have a pretty good foundation to get started. I've given you plenty of ideas to try out, a lot of prompts you can play around with, but just as a final thank you for sticking around and watching this video, which I have no idea how I'm going to make interesting because I don't have an editor and this was all quite theoretical. So in that sense, as a way to thank you, I have one last thing here for you. I kind of combined all of the information that we just learned, all of the tips and tricks, all of the prompts. I've combined all of that into one document, but I didn't just make it into a readable PDF. I made it into an actual workflow that you can use within ChatGPT to craft a song from scratch and to craft the lyrics of a song from scratch. And just by the title alone, you're gonna know that it's gonna be pretty awesome. This took a lot of back and forth with ChatGPT, a lot of trial and error, I can tell you that. And I ended up with this document. This is gonna be available for download for completely free. You can use this however you want. You can even turn this into your own custom GPT if you want. It's gonna take you once again through the entire workflow using the backwards writing technique to create a song, and what you're gonna end up with at the end is a song that is going to be completely Suno optimized. I've tried it a couple of times. I had some really great results with this. Please let me know if it worked well or not. But the idea is to use this template to your advantage. You can start and build upon this. You can create your own workflow out of this. This already took quite a bit of work. So this is a good foundation to get started, but just don't take this and assume that it will work perfectly. All right. But I hope it's helpful at least. So I'm going to leave it at that. Oh, right. One last thing. If you don't know how to add or create a project in ChatGPT, simply go to create project and say something like write lyrics. What you're going to do next is add files. So the files or the file that I just showed you, simply drag and drop this and it will take some time. When that is done, you can go ahead and simply say something like, let's start making a song. And it will take you through the entire workflow. So please let me know how this worked out for you. Also, one last thing that I want to ask, let's make the comment section into something useful, all right? If you have more tips or ideas on how to create really good lyrics or prompts that you've used yourself that worked really well, please let them know in the comments. And yeah, just let's make this very useful for everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for sticking around. In the next coming videos, I'm gonna get into making music videos, which I'm very excited about. So if you're interested in that, feel free to stick around. And thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.
I would like to thank Kevin Versen AI. Without his video, I wouldn't be standing here.